welcome back to Local Focus. I'm your host, Sebastian Noel. We got a big show planned for you today, but I do want to remind everyone about our website, proviewNetworks.com. You can check out our live schedule there. And if you just can't get enough of me, Gladiators football is now on statewide TV, so check out the Duke City Gladiators. That's always an exciting product. If you haven't been out to a Gladiators game, take your family, take your friends. That's it's really, really one of the most exciting live events you can go to, right? Like all the action and excitement of football without all the boring stuff, right? Like they don't allow punting in that league. There's really no time between plays. The clock keeps running. It's an amazing product. Check it out on Casa Fox 2, or better yet, just check it out live when the Gladiators play. But I know that's something I'm involved with, and I want to get the word out about that. My guest today is Mr. St. Pius himself, Marco Ybarra. Marco, welcome. Our schedules have not linked up.
Oh, no, not at all.
Because you're like the busiest man on the campus, right? So we're going to get to that in a moment. But first, you have an announcement, an exclusive announcement, a Local Focus Proview Networks exclusive announcement. So look into that camera and go ahead, my man. Go ahead.
Absolutely. I've been waiting for this a long time. I'd like to take my talents to Orange County and commit to Chapman University to be a Panther this fall.
The Chapman Panthers. That's where you're going to be playing football.
Absolutely, 100%.
Right? That's exciting, man. Congratulations.
Congratulations. Thank you so much.
Hey, you brought some gear, so throw that on if you want.
All right.
For our audience that maybe doesn't know, famous alumni, former Giants third base coach Tim Flannery was a Chapman Panther. So if there's any San Francisco Giants fans out there, the Panthers is who gave us Coach Tim Flannery. 15 minutes away from the beach. Did that factor into your decision at all?
Absolutely. I loved my visit. When I visited a couple weeks ago, I think it was about a month and a half ago with my family, and we absolutely loved it out there. Did the campus tour, and then right after we met with Coach Shine, offensive coordinator, and we really felt like it was the best place for me.
Right.
Felt right at home.
It's a pretty beautiful campus. I have grown up in Southern California, so yeah, I think you'll enjoy your time in Southern California. And plus, it's a pretty competitive league. I mean, you're playing, your Pomona team, Redlands, teams like that in that California league. So it's a pretty competitive league, isn't it?
Absolutely. I can't wait, though. I can't wait.
All right, well, I want to get back to this Mr. St. Pius thing, because, you are, the guy at Pius, right?
I try to be.
You have so much on your plate. I mean, talk about what you did today that you were telling me about.
So our big project this year for student government is the Lip Dub. And if you don't know, St. Pius did it 2013, 2015, and we're bringing it back this year for school marketing. It's basically like a music video for the entire school to show off the campus and show off all the clubs and sports teams and projects that are going on. And we just did it right at the end of the day and then headed straight over here right after.
I would imagine a lot of planning and coordinating goes into that, right?
Oh, right. With the school, with getting the whole student body out of class to do it. But it was so much fun, and it turned out great.
Musical selections? Which way did you guys go for that?
We chose 4 songs and edited all them together.
Okay.
Started out with Walking on a Dream, Sunday Best, Ain't No Mountain High Enough, and Don't Stop the Party by Pitbull.
All right. And now you guys edit all that together?
Edit all together. We worked with St. Pius to do it.
Okay.
And,
did you get in the editing room yourself?
My older brother is a DJ, and he was the one to put it all together and sent it over to Pius, and we made it work.
That's pretty cool, man. What made you always be so involved at St. Pius? We're going to get to all your football stuff, but you're very involved. Where did that come from?
In first grade, I was elected class representative, and it all started from there.
First grade?
First grade.
Wow. That's way back.
Way back.
I don't even think my elementary school had do you have a class president at that point? I don't remember that. What does a first grade class president do? I don't really understand.
I remember giving a speech to the whole school about
crayons.
About crayons, what we're learning in school, basically learning how to draw.
Okay, all right.
And that carried on through elementary, middle school. And
okay.
I knew it was at the high school level, it was going to be the real deal.
Right.
And actually getting stuff done, and that's why I wanted to continue.
Okay, so tell me what's on your plate for that. I mean, not only student government, but what else? What else are you involved in, Pius? What else are your student responsibilities? You have a lot.
I try to be. Just try to be as much involved as I can with sports, with football captain and track captain.
Right.
And bringing team bonding together. And
how much time does that student government thing take? That takes some time, right? Coordinating, planning. I mean, a lot goes into that. Tell us about that.
Right.
How much time?
We meet once a week every Tuesday, but it goes throughout the week where we're all working on our individual projects. I know the juniors right now are planning prom, and the seniors are helping them, and the sophomores are helping them. Everyone involved is helping them, and together as a whole, we've been doing the lip dub, planning that for a few weeks.
Yeah, I mean, how long? I mean, how much planning went into that?
We had to get the route, we had to get the music selection, and who's going to be the singers for it. And there was a lot of planning, but
Who were the singers?
we tried to get as much student council members as we could,
Okay, all right.
and then we reached out to club leaders and some seniors.
Man, and where can people check that out? I mean, can people that are watching this show, can they check that out?
In a few weeks, I'm sure it's going to be edited soon.
All right.
And as soon as it's released, it'll be out there.
All right, that's exciting. I mean, I do want to check that out. All right, we do want to get to football because, you were kind of a big deal this year in football. So we'll take our first time out, but when we get back, we want to dive into some football stuff when we get back with Marco Ybarra.
Schoolcraft, goes through the middle. 1 run will score as that ball hops off the wall. 2 runs will score. Schoolcraft will slide in at second base. That's a nice fastball, 86. It's going to drop. Oh, what a play! Tristan Thomas with the sliding catch. Throw is in time, the tag is in time, and there's the out. Satish Raichor with the big arm. That ball will be gone. 3-run shot, and the Volcano Vista Hawks respond to the home run with one of their own. Anna Armijo goes the distance. Slap that ball out to right field. Diving play made by Ian Chavez for out number
2. That's laced him well to left field. That could be gone.
Gone.
It is. For Ricky Henderson. Well, I'll tell you what, Henderson laced that one and hit it very well. Left fielder Jonathan Silva took a look. He never had a chance. That ball was gone right over Silva's head in left field for a 2-run home run for Henderson, who's got a double, a triple, and a home run today.
He is a stud.
With 4 RBIs.
He's had a great game.
He sure has.
Molina waiting to rescue offering. Uh-oh. Kiss that one goodbye. Ty Molina. I was going to say into the night, except we're just afternoon. But a 3-run home run by Ty Molina.
Stolen base number 3 for Tristan Thomas. Steal third. The throw is in time, but he knocks it out, and Carlsbad will walk off on the Tristan Thomas double steal.
There it is, Vasquez Smith with the walk-off, and that's game. Vasquez Smith, let's just call it.
We saw that coming from Matt Mabry as well. Oh, blasted to left field. It's gone. 1 man comes across, 2 men come across. It's a grand slam. There's 3, and Gavin Hoffman in front of a nice stadium here. A grand slam at the Sal Puentes.
All right, we're back with first-team All-State running back Marco Ybarra of the St. Pius X Sartans. I want to get into football now because it was a very productive and exciting season for you. But what's more, I guess, interesting about that is, like, you don't have an extensive football background, right? Like, you've only been playing a couple of years.
That's right. And especially with the injuries from sophomore, junior year, senior year was definitely my breakout year.
So, yeah, you have this injury, COVID, and all that. So you got your senior year to prove it, and that's it, right?
Right, that's it.
That had to be a lot of pressure.
It was. That was my one chance this whole season was to get my name out there, get recruited, and that was my chance to get film out there to
and we'll talk about that whole recruiting process because I think you can really help people out if we delve into that. But, I mean, what a season. You guys go 8-3 as a team. You're undefeated in district. But in 11 games, 254 carries for 1497, right? So we'll call it 1,500 yards. I'll give you the extra 3 yards. How about that? All right, so we'll give you the 3 yards. Call it 1,500 rushing yards, 22 touchdowns. That's a pretty amazing season. What were your goals going into the season as a team and as an individual?
Coach Montoya really stresses every year we need to focus on district first and get the team camaraderie to a point that we can win district. And then once we get the number 1 seed and once we win district, then we can focus on state. And I think that's what we carried into this year with beating Academy this year and winning district.
Right. Now, that's a pretty interesting district. Like, and by interesting, I mean crazy. Like, there's some crazy fans in that district. Like, those Grants people, man, do they get a little intense, right?
Oh,
like,
yeah.
those road trips up to Grants, those can get pretty crazy. Like, so being in a district with Grants, being in a district with Bernalillo, being in a district with your rivals Academy, I mean, that is an interesting district.
Oh, yeah. That was a fun environment in all those places that we traveled to, and especially for the Academy game. That was the most insane crowd I've ever experienced.
Now, obviously, you guys go perfect in the district, but there's been years where the rest of your district has been pretty bad, right? But how special does it make that game against Academy when they're also good?
We knew that they were good since the beginning, and that's what motivated us ever since the start of the season was that we know that the district championship is going to be us and Academy, and we need to get to the point where we can beat them, and that is the camaraderie again. Like, we need to be our fullest and our best at the end of the season.
And the season prior to that, Bernalillo's really good, right? They got the Goon Squad over there. So you guys have always kind of had a rivalry in the district. I mean, 2 years in a row where another team's good.
Oh, yeah.
I mean, yeah, going undefeated is great, but when it's easy to do it, it's not as much fun, right? Exactly. But when there's another team on the other side that's really good, that's got to make it more special.
Exactly. That's why we beat Academy by 1 point. They were solid the whole game, and it was really close matchup.
All right, take us through that game, right? Because it is low scoring, 14-13, right? You guys missed extra point, right? That was the difference?
Missed extra point.
Right.
Yeah. It was the loudest. It hit the goalpost, and it went silent. Like, I think everyone in that crowd heard that, and it was insane.
I mean, take us through the game. Like, first of all, what's that week like preparation for that game? And then take us through that game against your rivals.
We knew that we hadn't played them since 2015 or somewhere around there.
Right.
And we knew that there was a lot of pressure. The crowd was going to be there. We knew that alumni were going to be there. And we wanted to show out just for that reason. And
did you know how big that rivalry used to be?
I know it used to be even worse.
Yeah, I mean, you talk about some interesting Google searches, right? Like, you Google that rivalry, you'll find some interesting stuff, right?
Absolutely.
So, I mean...
we haven't played them in years,
right.
So it might come back. I'm not sure if they're in our district next year because I know they realigned them.
Right.
But I'm sure we're going to be playing them from now on. And it might come back. We'll see. But it was a great way to start it off.
All right, what I want to talk about now is your game against Taos, right? September 11th. School record, 327 rushing yards, 5 touchdowns.
Right.
I mean, you were in the zone that day. Take us through that. And Taos is not like a slouch team either. So take us through that.
We almost lost that game.
Yeah.
I dropped over 300 yards, 5 touchdowns. We almost lost. And we knew we had to we could not let our leg off the Tiger's neck. And just we knew that we were playing good, but then we knew that we would let them score, and it just would be a close and closer game, and we were running out of time. And right at the end, 94-yard touchdown, that was the best feeling ever, and I was exhausted.
Yeah, I mean, did you know you're having a great game? I mean, so those 327 yards, they came on 17 carries. That's not that many carries. So there was you busted up some long ones there, right? So did you realize you were kind of piling up the yardage there? I mean, take us through that.
I did. I try not to think about it. I try, like, once I break a 50-yarder for a touchdown, I tried to lower my breath and get back in the zone for the next drive. And I remember it was a close game. I had only had 4 touchdowns by then.
Only 4 touchdowns, right?
We let the other team score, and I turned to the sophomore, Jacob Wench, and he said, like, Marco, we need another one. And I said, I'll get you 5.
All right.
And then 94-yard touchdown right after.
When did you realize that was the school record? Like, who told you? Who broke the news to you?
James Yotis, 5 minutes after the game ended.
Okay. All right. Now I want to fast forward to the next day at practice. The mayor shows up.
Oh, right.
Right? Like, so that's pretty cool. I mean, for those that don't know, the mayor obviously went to Pius, played football at St. Pius, so he always kind of keeps an eye on what you guys are doing football-wise, right? So how cool is that the next day at practice, the mayor shows up to congratulate you?
Oh, that was amazing. That was an honor to meet him.
Right.
And we talked about Pius, and we talked about Harvard. We talked about, like, our upcoming games. And I met him again at Pius when he came and spoke to us for a government class. And we caught up again, and it was just really nice.
I mean, that's something you got to, like, rib your teammates about. Be like, hey, does the mayor show up to see you? No. Show up to see me. Like, that's got to be something that you stick in your pocket and take with you, right? Like, you can really get your friends with that one. Like, yeah, mayor showed up, right?
He gave us all a good speech at the end of practice, and something we needed to hear at that point in the season.
Okay.
And just to stay focused and remind ourselves what Pius stands for.
And then did he want to get out and throw the ball around? Because he's such a show-off, right? Like, he always wants to throw it around. He talks about how he was a backup quarterback for the Gladiators. Right. Did he mention that?
He did.
See? Like, those are his greatest hits, but he can throw it a little bit. Like, he's still very active, right? Did he get out on the field with you guys a little bit?
I don't think he did that day, but I know he slung it at the halftime at the Academy game with all the other mayoral candidates.
That's right. All right, what I want to talk about next, we're going to take another time out here, but the recruiting process, right? And I think people are interested in that because you, like you said, you only had that 1 year really, right? You had the injury, we had COVID, here it is, your senior year. So I want to go through that process, how it went for you, and hopefully people can learn from that. We'll be right back with Marco Ybarra.
These are more than just the sounds of a safe place to go after school. These are the sounds of interest being ignited and of mentors making an impact. At Boys and Girls Clubs, we don't do just one thing. We do whatever it takes to meet the needs of every kid who comes through those doors. Because whatever it takes is what it takes to build great futures. Great futures start here.
For certified collision and body repair, visit the experts at Car Crafters. 5 locations in Albuquerque and Rio Rancho. Visit carcrafters.com.
Car Crafters, it's like it never happened.
Well, I'm going to the frontier, walk up to the cashier, order up a root beer and a number 1. Cover it with green stuff, 1 scoop is not enough. Find a booth is real tough, back by the Duke. Meet my family, meet my friends in the quirkiest restaurant I have ever been. All of Albuquerque's favorite spot, it's the Frontier Restaurant.
The Frontier Restaurant is a proud supporter of Proview Networks.
Don't sacrifice quality of flavor when you're in a hurry. Golden Pride offers ribs, fried chicken, green and red chili breakfast burritos, and Frontier Cinnabons. 4 great locations, or visit us online at goldenpride@abq.com. Golden Pride Barbecue Chicken and Ribs, proud supporter of Proview Sports Network.
For 50 years, Clark's Pet Emporium has been your pet's favorite stop. Fish, birds, cats, dogs, reptiles, and small animals. Clark's has built a tradition of friendly, knowledgeable service focused on affordable, quality pet care products and food. Locally owned and operated with 2 convenient locations for all your pet needs, including an extensive selection of gifts for both owners and pets. 11200 Manal Northeast or 4914 Lomas Northeast. Clark's Pet Emporium is celebrating 50 years. Thank you, Albuquerque, the pet supply superstore. ClarksPets.com.
High school sports are back. You can watch every Proview Network broadcast online on the NFHS network. Every moment from every game from every sport, including all NMAA state championship games. Get your monthly pass now. Just go to ProviewNetworks.com, click on the NFHS logo, and sign up today. Watch New Mexico's best.
All right, I want to talk about the recruiting process here with Marco Ybarra. You had 1 year. You knew this was the year to do it, right? So tell us about that, how this whole process is condensed into just your senior year. People, the question I get from parents the most, and even student athletes the most, is how do I get myself out there? How do I get my film out there? How do I get noticed? How would you answer that question?
You got to find a way to contact those coaches. And if it's not through email, if it's not through Twitter, you got to find a side door. You got to find someone that knows someone.
Right.
And that's how I was able to connect with a bunch of coaches, to find someone that knows someone.
Right.
And it was tough junior year because we COVID year and I broke my collarbone 2 weeks before the season began, so I didn't get any junior film.
Right.
And so I knew that summer camps right before senior year.
Because that is what it is, right? You're introducing yourself. Hi, nice
Right.
to meet you, blah, blah, blah. But then it's just, here's film, right? That's what they want.
Right. And especially after junior year, that junior film is crucial. And I showed up to camps without it, and they said, okay, we need senior film. Like, you might have balled out at this camp, but we need some game film. And that's why I knew, like, especially at the beginning of the season, I needed to ball out.
So now you're playing football, doing student government. You have by the way, 4.3 whatever GPA, right? So, by the way, you're going to bring Chapman's team GPA up. Okay, the athletic department's GPA at Chapman's 3.34. I looked that up. So I think that's why that probably helped get you a very good, lucrative scholarship. You're going to really. You're going to help them get that up, right?
I hope that's my plan. That's
yeah.
my plan.
So, but man, so you're doing all these things, and then, by the way, you got to send out film. You got to contact coaches. I mean, you're doing that on your own. I'm sure your parents are helping you, but like that's real. Like you're emailing, you're sending DMs on Twitter, you're calling, right? I mean, tell us about that.
It was a rigorous semester, this first semester for senior year. It would be wake up for school, have school, practice, go home and do 3 hours of homework, and then somehow in between the cracks all throughout the day, try to email coaches, try to contact coaches. And it was really tough, really rigorous.
Right. And I mean, you set the bar pretty high. I mean, you went through some Ivy Leagues. You went. I mean, it's not like you're just applying to CNM, right? So, not that there's anything wrong with CNM, right? We have an audience that probably watches from CNM. So, but I mean, you're going to the top here, right? You're reaching out to all these Ivy Leagues. So you got to send transcripts. You got to, letters of recommendation. I mean, how are you juggling all this? I mean, tell us about your average let's say you're reaching out to school X, school Y, school Z. What would that look like? First contact is what?
First contact, you find a way to contact them, and then find a way to get them to respond. That's second. That's a key one. And then once you get them to respond, you tell them everything about yourself and try to bring them in, ask questions, keep coming into the conversation.
Right.
And that's how you build relationships, and that's how I was able to build a relationship with Chapman and commit there.
Right. A certain amount of rejection happening as well, right? Especially when you're contacting some of the schools you're contacting, right? There's a certain amount of rejection there too.
Right.
That's got to be disappointing, but you got to keep going.
Right. Absolutely. Some no response. Some say we're not interested, and that's completely fine because I have a bunch of other coaches to contact. Just like all those coaches have other recruiters to contact, I have other coaches to contact.
Right.
And I was able to keep my head up.
And the visit to Chapman is what really sealed the deal for you, right?
Oh, absolutely.
You said?
I've been looking into Chapman for over a year.
And what drew you to Chapman?
My dad told me about it. My dad told me that he had a friend who has a son there, and he said, look into it. He told me to. And I did about over a year ago, and it's been in the back of my mind this whole time. And right when I was ready for application season, I was like, you know what, I'm going to apply. And once I applied, I got a huge scholarship, went out, visited, and
now we're talking a huge scholarship.
Huge scholarship.
Yeah, I mean that matters, right?
It does.
Is that part of that's part of the decision, right? Like, I mean,
absolutely.
Who's going to give you the most money to go to school? That's important, right?
Right. I applied to about 26 schools, I believe. I think we're closer to 30, and Chapman gave me the most money, so that played a factor.
Right. All right. I saved the best part for the last part of the show. Before football, you were a nationally ranked gymnast.
That's right.
All right. Tell me about that.
Parents always wanted to put me in gymnastics.
Now, are we talking like the real thing, like going to the Olympics, that kind of stuff?
That was my goal.
Okay.
My always goal was to either 2020 or 2024, and I knew it was going to be Los Angeles or somewhere around there, and that was what I trained to when I was a kid. And my parents put me in at 3. I started competing at 6 at Eagle Ridge Gymnastics with Coach Brandy Wood, and that has helped my my career tremendously with football. But
How? Yeah, explain that. Explain that.
with flexibility, with body control, with speed, and and overall strength. Like
Right.
I showed up and was ready to work out, ready to go, and I always have a close place in my heart with gymnastics.
Gymnastics, you can get a lot of injuries through gymnastics,
yeah.
right? I
Right.
mean, I have some friends whose kids are in gymnastics, and it's broken bone there,
yeah.
broken bone here,
It's part of the
sprain this,
sport.
sprain that. Like, so I mean, did you go through some of that?
Oh yeah, just like football, it's part of the sport, and it was injuries in my wrist that made me
Okay.
retire right before middle school, and because I couldn't do gymnastics anymore as much, I decided to transition over to football.
What was your favorite gymnastic discipline or event?
The event, the still rings, absolutely.
Okay.
That was my best event. I was regional
That
champion.
would seem like the hardest.
It's all strength.
Like when I watch it in the Olympics, they all seem very difficult, but that one seems like hell.
Right, absolutely.
Like that's got to be tough. That's got to create a lot of strength, right?
Absolutely. And I had a great team and great coaches, and we all pushed each other when we were kids, and we all stayed close. My best friend growing up was Michael Avery, and he stayed with gymnastics, and I was committed to Greenville University.
Nice. Well, Marco, congratulations, first of all, on a fantastic senior year, a school record. Seems like you have it all figured out on the academic side and the athletic side. I think you're going to love your time at Chapman, and we certainly are honored that you would make that announcement here on the show. And so thank you so much for coming in. Keep us updated, man. Keep us, let us know about how it's going at Chapman. Thanks a lot for coming in.
Thank you so much.
Thank you for watching, everybody. Good night.
For your business or your home, Valley Fence stands alone. We're number one in New Mexico for a reason. It's the best fence you can own. Proudly serving New Mexico for over 50 years. At Valley Fence, the difference is clear. No fence too big, too small, or difficult. We handle them all at Valley Fence Company.
Next in line. Rudy's is a proud supporter of Proview Networks.
Don't sacrifice quality of flavor when you're in a hurry. Golden Pride offers ribs, fried chicken, green and red chili breakfast burritos, and Frontier Cinnabons. 4 great locations, or visit us online at goldenpride@abq.com. Golden Pride Barbecue Chicken and Ribs, proud supporter of Proview Sports Network.
For certified collision and body repair, visit the experts at Car Crafters. 5 locations in Albuquerque and Rio Rancho. Visit carcrafters.com.
Car Crafters, it's like